Writing an offer for your clients can be exciting but also terrifying, especially if you're new or you don't have a lot of experience underneath your belt. Today we're going to cover all the things you need to know when writing offers and writing counteroffers. Hey, it's Mark here with the Hiller Group, brokered by eXp Realty. My team and I have you covered here along the beautiful Florida Panhandle from Pensacola all the way through Panama City, where our team has been fortunate enough to serve over 1,350 families in the past 10 years alone. So today I'm going to guide you through the process of the do's and don'ts of writing an offer and countering for your client. Now look, each state is different, but these are just a few generic tips that everyone can use when they're going through this experience as a realtor. First up, keep in mind, this is a scary and nerve-wracking time for your clients, not just you. Don't ever forget that. You may do it every day, but they don't. This is one of the things I see a lot of people forget a step in the sales process. They forget what it's like writing an offer for a client who does this maybe once every 7 or 8 years. So I recently was on the other side of it. I was buying a property and the other agent didn't keep me 100% informed. And it was scary. It was nerve-wracking not knowing what the next steps were because we weren't fully informed by our agent. Remember, it's an emotional roller coaster. Your job is to minimize that ride as much as possible for your clients. Home buyers often experience a mix of excitement and anxiety. This prospect of owning a home is thrilling to them, but the process can be daunting and stressful. Don't forget about FOMO, the fear of missing out. In competitive markets, buyers may feel pressured to act quickly to avoid losing out on their dream home. The financial commitment and the fear of making a wrong decision can lead to uncertainty and doubt. Buyers might worry about overpaying, potential repairs, as well as other neighborhood issues. Remember, buyers are making one of the biggest financial decisions of their lives, which can make them feel very vulnerable. They need reassurance that they are making the right choice, and that is your job to help guide them through the process. The process of finding, bidding, and securing a home can be highly stressful. Buyers might be juggling other life events too, like relocating, starting a new job, as well as family changes. The desire to move forward quickly and secure a home can lead to impatience. Buyers are often eager to move in and start the next chapter of their lives. Understanding all of these emotions is crucial, as this allows you to provide the necessary support and empathy throughout the home buying process. Here's how to navigate the offer process while addressing these emotions. First up, proper communication. This includes regular updates. Schedule an initial meeting to discuss the offer process and set clear expectations. Explain the steps involved and the timeline. This helps reduce anxiety by giving the buyer a clear roadmap. This should be done upfront and shortly after meeting your client for the very first time, not the last hour while writing offers. This is exactly what happened to me in my scenario. We were writing an offer and the agent hadn't fully explained how the negotiation process and how the repair process worked in that state. So I was left in the dark. I only knew what I knew. Even though I'm an agent, I still didn't have a clear picture of how things worked in that market. If she would have sat down and explained the entire process, we would have a clear understanding of what to expect next. Next up, set regular check-in points with your client to provide updates. For example, you might call or email daily during critical stages of the offer process. Frequent communication reassures the buyer that you are actively working on their behalf and keeping them updated to what is going on. I highly recommend using tools like text or video messaging for quick updates when significant events occur, such as receiving a counteroffer. Then set a time to review it on the telephone or on Zoom. Do not text all counteroffer information back and forth. You need to have your client on the phone with you so you can hear their voice. You can hear the ups and downs in their tone, whether they're excited about the counteroffer or if you can tell that they're a little bit more reserved and maybe getting impatient. Timely updates help manage anticipation as well as their expectations moving forward. It makes you proactive and not reactive. Next up, create a written outline or a flow chart of the offer process to share with your client. Include the steps such as making the offer, negotiating, and the inspection period. Visual aids can make the process seem less daunting. This should be provided at the beginning stages of their home search when you're doing that initial consultation. We have a buyer home guide and a buyer presentation that our agents use through a program called High Note. I highly suggest looking into this program. It helps you design a nice footprint and a nice layout so you can actually walk somebody through the entire process. You want to make sure you're discussing all the potential outcomes, best case scenario as well as worst case scenario, so that your client is prepared for any situation. This helps manage any of their fear and the unknown uncertainty that comes with making an offer. Give them the negatives. This is transparency. This is what they want. Likely, their real estate transaction will have bumps. If it doesn't, then you've had the first successful one in history that did not have bumps along the way. Let them know that. I like to tell my clients, look, we're gonna have bumps in the road. It's gonna be a rocky road at times, but it's my job to handle all of that for you. I even tell my clients, look, you're not allowed to worry until I tell you to. Guess what? I've never told a client to worry because I know I'm in control and I'm the one who's going to help guide them through the entire process. Transparency is crucial. Full disclosure is your friend. Get in the habit of doing it so it just comes naturally. I've seen several agents try to hide something from their client, thinking they're looking out for their best interest, only to have it blow up in their face later on because they weren't 100% honest. Then the client said, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? Honesty is your best policy. Provide your client with all available information about the property, including the MLS listings, property history, any known issues, seller's disclosure, and any other documents that the agent has provided in the MLS documents section. Full disclosure builds trust and reduces doubt. If you get all of this for them up front when you're writing the offer, there's going to be no surprises later on. Make sure you explain the current market conditions, such as whether it's a buyer's or seller's market, to help your client understand the competitive landscape of your current market. This context helps manage any expectations and reduces anxiety about market dynamics, as well as prepares them for when it's time to make that offer, that they either make a very strong offer if it's a competitive market, or a little bit weaker offer if they have room for negotiations in your current market. Make sure you tell them what they can expect when they're writing their offer. If they're going to have to pay all of their own closing costs, if they're going to be able to ask for seller concessions, if there's a lot of wiggle room and negotiation room in their market because it's kind of a softening market. Prepare them so when it comes time to make that offer, they don't decide to shoot a low ball like out of nowhere. And typically when I've seen lowball offers, it's because the agent didn't spend enough time educating the consumer on the current dynamics of that market. Explain the offer details thoroughly. Make sure that you, their agent, knows the contract. I've seen several agents over the years that wrote an offer, submitted it on one of my listings, and we start going back and forth. They didn't even know what the offer consisted of. They didn't even know the contract. They didn't know all of the language. They didn't understand it. They didn't even fully understand it to explain it to their client. So make sure you fully understand the contract so you can explain it to your client. Walk them through the offer line by line with your client, explaining each term and condition to the best of your ability. Ensure that they understand the contingencies, the earnest money deposits, and the other key components. Clear explanation alleviates any confusion and stress. You want to provide a written summary of the offer terms for your client's reference, highlighting crucial elements like the purchase price, the closing date, and any other important timeline deadlines that they must hit. This summary helps buyers feel more in control as well as informed. We have this in our buyer guide as well. Due diligence is your duty. Make sure you perform a detailed CMA to determine the fair market value of the property so you're making a competitive yet realistic offer. Explain how you arrived at the suggested offer price. This data-driven approach reduces the fear of overpaying that I'm sure your client is feeling. You must also provide insights into neighborhood trends, including recent sales, average days on market, and the price per square foot. Knowing the trends helps the buyer feel more confident in their decision. Next up, inspection and contingencies. Make sure you recommend a reputable home inspector and explain the different types of inspections, such as general home inspection, pest inspection, radon tests, chimney sweep, pool inspections, and whatever else you may have in your particular area. If it is an older home and it looks like there's going to be a ton of repairs and your buyer's a little bit leery, make sure you put a contingency clause in there that allows your client to either back out or possibly renegotiate the terms of the deal based on the inspection results. These safeguards reduce vulnerability as well as build confidence in your ability to be looking out for your client. By understanding and addressing the emotional aspects of the home buying process, you can provide exceptional support for your clients, helping them navigate this significant milestone with confidence and peace of mind. Hope you found this video helpful. Hit the like and subscribe button down below, and we'll see you on the next one.